Amrita Rajpal. I'm an early years specialist. I've been teaching for 22 years, but I've been learning.
Because the video has paused. Amrita? Is it only me or when you can see Amrita's video on? Anybody?
It's paused, Vela.
It's paused, na? Maybe she's having little network issues. Let me just call her up. She's coming. Maybe she'll just rejoin. Give us 2 minutes, please, everyone. Maybe I'll share the video till she joins in. Oh, 1 second, 1 second. Can you see something, Harsha? No, na?
I could see, but then it's gone off. You started sharing your screen that I could see.
Yeah. Something else came up. That's why. I'm trying to find the video because I didn't. Amrita was going to share it, so I can't see the video. 1 second. I think it's this one.
Hi, I'm Amrita Rajpal. I'm an early years specialist. I've been teaching for 22 years, but I've been learning my whole life. And that's why I have a company named Edu Learn Grow. I'm passionate about creating learning environments that are engaging, meaningful, and fun for children. I'm also a sports nutritionist, an avid traveler, an active Rotarian. I'm the territory head for the Early Childhood Association Mumbai. I'm the founder of Edu Learn Grow and the co-founder of the ABCD show.
Hi, I'm Bela Kutwani, also known as Big B. Big for the size of my heart and B for Bela. A fun-loving person with a great sense of humor and a passionate pickleball player. National Core Committee member of Early Childhood Association, founder and principal Cosmic Kids International, co-founder Puppet Maestros and the ABCD show. An educationist and a puppeteer who helps teachers to make learning fun for children by using puppets as a tool for teaching. My vision is to help parents and teachers raise emotionally intelligent children.
Welcome to season 2 of the ABCD show. First of all, we'd like to thank all our viewers for viewing our show, for being so committed to your own learning, and for showing us all your love. We are all geared up to get you the best educators to enhance your skills and to take your knowledge to new heights.
We have some really exciting basket of offerings. We have our ABCD shows where we will call experts to talk about their best practices. We will introduce you to some really value for money and effective products and services. And we have some incredible courses that will help you gain mastery in the subject.
Season 2 has a different format. We will have Ask Amrita and Bela on alternate Wednesdays, where you will ask us your questions on child development and we will revert. And on the other 2 Wednesdays, we will have ABCD shows with speakers, or we'll showcase new products or new ideas and innovations.
So, parents and teachers, email us your questions on topics relating to early childhood development, education, and rearing on the ABCD Show 6@gmail.com. And we will be back with the answers on Facebook Live. Waiting to see you soon.
So, welcome to the ABCD show. We have Harsha Ramaiya with us today, and Harsha is the director of Small Wonders in Bhavnagar. She's the national core committee member of the Early Childhood Association, and she's a co-founder of H2 Edu Associates. She's also a parenting coach as well as an excellent educator, and she is popularly known as Mom Harsha. So Harsha is also very, very modest. I think most of you know her, and that's why she's pulled in all these people over here to hear her. And when I asked Harsha, can you give me some, important things I can say about you? And she said, really don't have to say anything. But now we know why we don't have to say anything, because everybody knows Harsha. And Mom Harsha, welcome over here.
Welcome, Harsha. Really happy to have you on the ABCD show and looking forward to listening to you today.
Thank you so much, Amrita. Thank you so much, Bela. I'm equally excited to be on this platform, and kudos to you both for doing such a wonderful show and keeping us all updated each and every time. Thank you so much.
Lovely. And thank you, viewers, for coming in over here. You know, I want to tell you why this topic was taken up. The topic is lesson planning post-COVID. So the impact of this COVID-19 pandemic has affected almost every aspect of our lives. One area which is hit particularly hard is education. Millions of students learning at home for 2 years and now getting back to school for the first time. It's absolutely clear that this crisis will have myriad effects on teaching and learning. So as schools resume, it seems reasonable to expect 2 things. One, students would have made various degrees of progress academically, or some would have had a COVID slide. Also, in addition, children will have issues which are transitional, anxiety, fear, dealing with loss. They're also not used to sitting for long periods. So Harsha, we have a question for you. You have a school. You're also a parenting coach. How should teachers plan their day?
So first of all, Amrita, for this question, I would like to tell everybody is that when we hit this pandemic and when we were put in this situation, the biggest error that we made, when we shift into an online platform was we replicated the physical classrooms in our planning. That was the disaster, the biggest disaster. Because in the starting phase, I heard the schools having 40 minutes period over online, so which was a disaster. But over a period of time, we got to know that this is not workable. If we are on a digital platform, the lesson plan has to go accordingly. It cannot be the replica of what it was in the classroom physically. So the same rule applies here. Post-COVID, when children are with us, we will have to understand that gap first. If we are looking to academics only, syllabus completion only, it is never going to work, because the children whom we've left in March 2020 and the children whom we are getting in 2022 are completely different children.
Sorry, Harsha, I'm interrupting. They're saying that you need to speak a little louder. Is the volume okay on your...
I'll just shift this thing. Okay.
On your
Am I
equipment.
audible?
Yes. Can everyone hear her now?
I'm able
Yes,
to
I
hear
can.
Amrita. She's clear.
No, but I
Okay.
could see the chat and.
Okay.
All right.
But I think you can go ahead now.
All
Yes.
right. So here, when we are talking about now, when the children have come back to the physical classroom, we'll have to understand that that bridge is quite deep. We cannot start where we had stopped. There is a big transition in our thought process that has to take place. Because if we look only at the syllabus completion, because when we started the school back, the parents were, ma'am, itna iska reh gaya, ye isko chhoot gaya, ye isko aata nahi hai. The parents at the gate or at the meeting always have that fear that how will my child compete with other children in the classroom, or how will the syllabus get completed? Because the preschoolers, when they went in the pandemic, it was the first time they had just entered the school and suddenly the pandemic hit. So for them, this little digital set was only the classroom. They have never seen the physical classroom. Now, when they're entering our classrooms, and if we are not going to understand that gap, or we are not trying to bridge that gap, it is again going to create a disaster. So number one, I suggest is parent orientation. Number two, I request all the school educators, leaders, the coordinators, everybody to slow down. Because everybody wants, there are bridge courses, crash courses that are available, but I don't think it's working. So if we have to come down to that level to understand that the children whom we left in March 2020 and the children whom we are getting back in 2022 are completely different set of children. So that is number one thing that I would like to suggest.
Yes. So the lesson planning also has to change now according to the children of 2022.
Exactly.
Bela, you want to ask the next
Yes,
question?
I was having a little problem with my internet, but I think I'm okay right now. So, Harsha, let me ask you the next question is, what are the kind of activities that teachers should plan for right now, looking at the situation?
All right. So now let me tell you how we've planned it. The children who are coming to us now are looking forward to play outdoors. So what we've done is we've planned our syllabus in such a way that they get 60 to 70% of outdoor play. Because they don't want to come from the garden to the classroom. They want to have those swings, those slides, those free play. And Bela, the biggest disappointment that I have is that the peer play, when the children are playing in a group of their age, I find that they are not able to share. They are not able to talk. I think we have to develop those areas wherein children get, because that is also a kind of development. It's not only 1, 2, 3 that we teach in the school or ABC that we teach. It's social development also, and children have lost completely on that. If you make a group of, say, around 10 children of age 5, you will see that they will not want to sit for a longer time. And if you keep 2, 3 toys, earlier it was such that they would share and play by default, because they were in that zone. But now if they picked up a toy, they don't want to lose that toy and they fight over it. And post-COVID, the children who've come, it's not a complaint that I'm making, but I'm trying to just draw your attention is that children have become little stubborn because they've stayed with their parents for long, so they are little different children. So social adjustment, I think would be the right word, has to be in place first. So ample of opportunities in your lesson plan, which offers these kind of areas for development, I think is a bingo planning. So before taking them directly to the classroom, I think half an hour, 30 minutes. I know it's going to cost on academics and syllabus because the management, the teachers, the parents will howl on us. The syllabus is not being completed. But I think even a year or two, maybe, if continuously we are going to be open like this, and if God forbid the fourth wave doesn't hit us and we are going to work, I think 2 years maximum, we have to slow down. We have to, it's just that we feel that we are back to normal, but children are not back to normal because their adjustment frequency is little slow. because at home they were in a very protected atmosphere, because 2-year-old child or 2.5-year-old child who's coming to the play school, the parents tell, ye abhi bahar abhi nikla hai, itna shell mein tha. Now imagine a child who is in shell for 2.5 years suddenly is coming in an open atmosphere, and you're locking them in the classroom and ABCD and playing rhymes. The children will not accept. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you have to give them that space to open up, that space to adjust. And you yourself also will have to adjust in that phase. So I think for me, if I say, if I have planned my school curriculum in such a way that academics and play go hand in hand, wherein play, social adjustment is on the top and academics is here.
It makes a good sense, because I think kids have really lost on their social development because of the pandemic. And so you should also do more of team building games, I think, because parents feel that the interaction has been lost because of the pandemic. So once you have more of team building games, sharing with your friends, that will really work very well. Thank you, Harsha, for bringing that point up.
Yeah. Harsha, we have this situation in Bombay and bigger cities where we don't have so much outdoor space. So I think maybe they can do the same thing they would do outdoors, indoors. But
Exactly.
they spend more time in just pre-play.
Correct.
No?
So, you have to design your curriculum accordingly, wherein there is no stress of syllabus. What I'm trying to say is it could be outdoor, indoor, whatever. Now the play equipments are so mobile that you can get the slides and seesaws and everything in your classroom. And that could no longer
Correct.
be a classroom wherein the teacher is, with the books and making the child write. It could be converted into an indoor play zone as well.
Right.
And here, I think, Amrita, the
Correct.
biggest thing that works is the teacher's body language. Because if teacher herself is pressurized, to complete the syllabus, piled up with those books and everything, and when the children come, she is full of anxiety, and, that will reflect in her body language and equally will be passed on to the children. So here the teacher has to be light, irrespective of whatever is her weight. I'm just putting it on a lighter note.
I like that. On a lighter note, everybody stop watching your weight and just be light in the head and the body.
Correct.
Right. Yes, I truly get it. Social emotional learning is the need of the hour today. So now another thing that is really bothering everybody is that children have been at home for a very long time. So they've had a different kind of exposure. Some of them have had a lot of people paying attention to them, and whatever, some of them have been relegated a little to the background because other things have taken precedence, possibly someone's ill health or whatever. Some of them have built new interests. Some of them don't have any interests. So how do you get them all on a common platform? Also, we always talk about a child-led classroom. That is the most important part of teaching. You have a child-led classroom. How do these children follow their interests? And how does a teacher keep up with all these diverse interests and get everybody, on that same page?
So, Amrita, I think here one tip will work, that when you're planning for such kind of a classroom, post-COVID classroom, the first important thing is that you'll have to fit in your brain is one size fits all will not work here. So the teacher has to go an extra mile to understand the child's need. For example, if I have a class of 20, pre-COVID, the scenario was different. Now, post-COVID, the scenario is different, that I have to have my eyes on each and everyone's needs. And when I talk about needs, it's not it's about the social and emotional need that I'm talking about, because these children are very, very inexpressive. So if you find a child who is aloof, not mixing, or a child who is over mixing, because sometimes, being hyper is also a notion of anxiety, or a notion of being more, seeking more and more attention. So here, this is number one. Number two, the strongest point is that if you want to sail through very smoothly during this journey, I think parent hand-holding and parent collaboration is a must. Because at the end of the day, the parents should be conveyed this message that why this slowing is going on. Because earlier, the kind of syllabus teaching was going on, and today that is going on, there is going to be a little slow swing, so that has to be conveyed properly. And what I would suggest is that at given point in time, invite the parents to do some activities with the children. When the parents will do those activities with their children, they will understand what we are trying to say. So have on Saturdays, what we organize is mom and toddler date or mom and child play, whatever. So parents come in for 2 hours. They do some activities, the teacher guided activities, wherein the parents themselves observe what the teacher is trying to say. I think when that hand holding of the parent, that support, the collaboration of the parent will be there, Amrita, I think we are going to create wonders, because if they understand, everything is then done. Because at some point of time, the management understands, but the whole pressure, the whole cycle of a teacher or an institute revolves around the parents' pressure. So if
Correct.
we have that target in, then nothing like it.
It's a good idea to have the
Absolutely.
parents on the same page as the teachers and realize how much the child can do and cannot do. So that's very important.
So
I
Bella,
like
here
this Saturday idea very much.
Yeah.
with me, every Saturday we have either a mom and toddler date or a mom and child, because if the children who are little younger, we call them for 2 hours and we organize some activities wherein it's a group play of mom and child, or there's a group play of children. And even the moms do the activity as well. So the development process also, they can witness, they can be a part of how the school functions. And during that 2 hours process, parents are very open-minded to listen. Otherwise, you call them for an orientation, their mindset is little different. So, those 10 minutes, it could be just very sharp. And 10 minutes, you can just explain them that this is the activity, and see the children are different now. And, whatever orientation mein jo bhi karna hai, it could be, lathering before shaving, I would say is the best thing. So we can, just handhold the parent. We can,
Practical orientation, what you're doing.
yeah, absolutely. That is what worked for me very, very well.
Harsha, one question. You have all the parents at the same time in the class?
No, we have section wise.
Section wise. So the
And in
whole
the section, whole lot, yes. So for example, if I have a class of 20, we invite all the 20, and around 12 to 14 turn up at that day, because some or the other have some other engagements. So 12 to 14 at a time with 2 teachers, and the activities that are decided. So we have
for
that
the whole duration of the class, which is 2 hours.
2 hours, yes.
Ma'am, what type of actually the activities to be done by the from the teachers end to for toddlers and a parent?
So it could be the replica of your classroom. So what we do is, हमारा जो timetable होता है ना, for example, it's a rhyme time, it's an activity time, coloring time, outdoor play time, indoor play time, जो भी है. For example, we plan 5 activities for 2 hours, including the recess time also. So the parents participate in the rhymes time as well. The parents participate for the coloring also. There's a fine motor activity. Then there's garden play. So the parents take the children to the garden for swinging, sliding. And in that bits and bits, the teachers keep on guiding the parents about the children's development and how the things work. And it's a fantastic thing to do. And you won't believe that not only my school parents, but when we keep an open Bhavnagar event, we always have to close registrations for this kind of an event, because it's altogether a very new experience. The replica of whatever you're doing in your class, you have done it for the mom and child or mom and toddler or whatever you're planning. We call it a play date because that is accepted well.
Yes, because I think the parents doesn't know how the school works actually.
Correct.
Environment, because the prior to that our education were different, and now the education, the term we use as educator. Prior we used to have teachers, and now we are
Correct.
educators.
Educators,
So that's a wonderful
absolutely.
idea. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So Harsha, let's go. Yeah, let's go to the next question, Harsha. I want to know, there are many approaches that we have, but what is the best approach that is suitable for a teacher to adopt?
So here, Bella, I think I have a little different notion on this aspect, is that number one, the teacher should work on herself or himself. If you are looking forward to think out of the box, only then you will be able to think out of the box. So here in this generation, which we are catering, these are no longer those children of our times, old school children. These children are exposed to much more than what we know. So we have to upgrade ourselves, number one. So approach will be that you will have to be adaptable. You'll have to accept everything that comes your way. The change, for example, pandemic would hit. We never thought that we would, have to have classes live on Zoom, wherein we'll be on the video and we'll be talking to the children. That was altogether a very new experience. And I have seen teachers who were very good in the classrooms and have created disasters on online. So I think that each and every period you will have to understand to upgrade and upskill yourself. If that is the approach, then I think anything and everything will help you to do whatever comes your way. Because in pandemic, there are a lot of things, I would sound a little philosophical when I'm talking about this, but this is the reality. Because when the pandemic hit, Bella, there was a lot of a reality check within ourselves also. We felt, earlier it was like we used to tell the parents ki mobiles mat do bancho ko, mobiles mat do, and we only had to tell the parents abhi isko mobile do. So I think that if we change the approach within, it will definitely reflect in the classroom. Number two, when talking about any physical approach, especially post-pandemic lesson plan, I think that the division of the lesson plan, as I mentioned earlier in my question, also should be such that play should be a part of your daily routine. Now, when you're planning play in your syllabus, it could be woven into your syllabus also. For example, if you're wanting to teach numbers to them, rather than showing the flashcards in the classroom or doing the typical way that you're doing, take them in the garden, ask them to count the trees, ask them to count the swings, ask them to count, that could be something which could be fascinating, which could be reinventing. You also, when you start planning this way, Amrita and Bela, you will feel that you are reinventing yourself. Because once you try and do this thing, which is little not so typical, you will find that ideas popping up lots in the next planning. So I think that approach of not teaching the same way as I was, just shift your classroom from indoor to outdoor. As Amrita mentioned, that in metros, place is a different, altogether a new issue, because you don't have those outdoor spaces. But you could just have a shift of the place. A typical classroom, jahan pe aap baithte ho, wahan pe nahi kahin aur. I think lobbies also are a great place, for a shift, because place shifting matters a lot. It breaks the typicalness. So I think you could, if you have a very indoor setup, just try to figure out ke aaj yahan pe class nahi lete hain, aaj yahan pe class lete hain. It could be the lobby, it could be the outdoor area of, where you're walking to your classroom, whatever it could be. But if it fits in your brain, and if you're able to put it across, I think it works wonders. Just try this, and this approach of keep on changing will definitely help everybody.
I think it really works, because I remember once in ABM, I had a class and I took them under a tree to tell them a story. They really enjoyed that storytelling session there as well. So it was a good experience.
And Bela, not only
And what I'm
storytelling, let
thinking
me
of
tell you
right
that
now is this builds cognitive. Sorry, I was saying this builds cognitive flexibility also.
Right.
yes.
Yes, Harsha, you were saying something?
The small
So as you mentioned
situations will
about sitting
help
under
to
the tree,
adapt to
and
bigger situations.
I'm sorry, I and Amrita both are
Yes.
wanting to speak at the same time. Yes, Amrita, you can finish.
No, I finished. Please speak.
Yeah. So what I was saying, that as you mentioned about, a storytelling under the tree, just try, if you have that outdoor space, bingo, it works wonders. So if you have a little outdoor space, just try doing orals there, doing rhyme session, or
Right.
doing your numeracy or literacy or whatever. It will make a lot of difference, those four walls and the outdoor
Yes.
space, it turns up and down, so I love that experience altogether.
I'd also seen someone hanging letter flashcards on a tree outside, So then the child would go and touch those letter flashcards, just like you have fruits hanging, you had letter flashcards. So that was a letter tree. So that's also something new and interesting to do. So now, Harsha, how many hours is your day?
So in the classroom or total?
No, classroom for the child. How many
Okay.
hours does the child come in for every day?
So
have you
toddler
started with regular hours, or have you shortened it, or what?
No, we've shortened it, and it is 2.5 hours for playgroup and nursery. We don't have junior and senior, so playgroup and nursery for 2.5 hours.
And earlier it was? 3.5 hours.
No, it was 3 hours and we've shortened it to 2.5 hours.
And they're happy to adjust, the children,
Yeah,
for 2.5?
yes.
Very good. Very nice.
And
So I
when
think
you Harsha, one other question I want to ask. Supposing the beginning of the year, now the kids are coming new. Do you have them starting the same 2.5 hours as they come, or you gradually increase the hours when they come in?
So this policy from the very beginning, it is there, Bella, that whenever a new student enrolls, the parents are allowed for 2 to 3 days, mom specifically, not both the parents. The mom is specifically allowed for 2 to 3 days. The child looks at the atmosphere, the play area and everything, gets familiar with the teachers, with the area and everything. Then from the 4th or the 5th day, we ask the parents to wait outside. So the whole process, sometimes the child takes around 10 days to settle. Sometimes the child takes around 15 days to settle. So the preconditioning is done to the parents before they take the admission, that this will be the process. So from the very first day, we don't keep the child for the whole hours, 2.5 hours. So it's gradually. Without mom, then the child will be for 15, 20 minutes. And if the crying goes on too much, then we call the parent again and that whole stuff. But it goes like it's a bumpy ride.
Especially because of the pandemic now, because they're going to school again after 2 years. So it's going to be difficult to adjust in a new environment for them.
Yeah. And our communication system is also very strong, Bella, that we have I'm sure everybody now has a WhatsApp group of the parents, but our communication is very strong that if the child has cried or if the child hasn't had nashta, peed or pottied or whatever, vomited or whatever, everything goes before the child goes home. The communication is that strong. I think post-pandemic, that is much required. Because the parents are leaving their jigar ka tukda. That is what they feel, because those are it's like jigar ka tukda.
True. Very nice. I want to open this out to the audience. I want all of you to ask questions. Not every day you get a chance to talk to Mom Harsha and ask her whatever you want to ask her. So what is in your mind?
Harsha ma'am, sorry in between. Harsha ma'am, just wanted to ask, post abhi to aap agar dekhoge, bacha they don't want to write because they want that mama wala thing, mama likhaye, mama karwaye. So wo thoda problem ho raha hai abhi, because they don't know how to write from the board. They don't know what is a board. So how do you think we should proceed? Like what should be the how should we go about it?
Okay. I think writing is a universal problem, but post-COVID it is much more, because, what happens generally that ghar pe jab bachcha karta tha na, most of the time the parents used to hold hand and make the child write, So I think the children's fine motors are also not developed to accept that. Number one, that is the problem that I find. Number two, when it comes to writing, it has to be very much gradual process. So as a teacher also, I would recommend you that do not look at the child ke aaj maine class mein 1 likhaya hai, so everybody should finish. So if you have a set of 20 children, 10 or 8 maybe. Am I echoing or I'm hearing somebody?
No, please continue.
So I've learned all my
someone
answers.
has unmuted, that's why.
Amrita, I've learned all my answers by heart. I will forget my answer. So here as a teacher, what I would say is that if you have a class of 20, 10 or 12 will write, 8 or 10 would be in such category who will refuse to write, not write at all. So here I think a teacher's right mindset will work. So you will have to first understand.
Harsha, you're muted.
The host had muted me.
I was muting someone else over here because I was hearing too much background noise.
Even I was hearing, but I said ki pata nahi kiska mic khula reh gaya hai. So did you get my answer, the one who was asking? Or should
yes,
I
it's Varshita. Yes, I did. But a problem kya ho raha hai? Once we say ki okay beta, if you don't want to write, that's okay. But mama aapko puche ki aapne kya kiya, what will you do? The answer, I was so aghast with that answer. Ek kaam karo na ma'am, isko na WhatsApp kar do na, mama likha degi. Oh my God, I was like, wow. We have to change the phobia of that children ki mama ghar pe likha degi, aap photo kar do. And then I had to call parent, let them know, okay, fine, now you cannot do that. You have to, no, literally at least tell your children like that. तो अभी वो थोड़ा problem हो रहा है because बच्चा is like, मम्मी घर पे लिखाएगी, आप मत लिखाओ, क्योंकि they want all the letters to be done with us on the lap writing. तो वो थोड़ा थोड़ा भी post pandemic जो भी है, like I want them to go away first. The children needs to settle down. अभी they have very wavering mind. Because वो लिखना ही नहीं चाहते. Every 5 minutes, 5 seconds, ma'am, my hands are tired. I said, tired? कहाँ से tired? पता नहीं चलता. But खेलने लेके जाओ, they will be all good to go.
So here, I think it is a phase that will pass. So we have to be patient. Equally, we have to make the parents understand to be patient. You know, they cannot rush with the completion, as I mentioned, because here everybody after 2 years they've joined. तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि कितना मेरा बच्चे का छूट गया है, and I don't know what. But children are way smarter, you know. So I think this is a phase. And if you involve the parent in, as you said, that you talk to the parent, just give them little counseling the correct way. And if they are educated parents and if they want to understand what is right for their child, they will definitely agree. But there are set of parents who don't agree to whatever the teacher says, because for them writing is something that they at the end of the day want. मेरा बच्चे ने कितना लिखा, खेला, orals किया, वो सब ठीक है, but लिखा कितना? So then ignore those kind of parents, but try to counsel them, try to, make them feel home, try to bring them on the same page. And if the parents are educated and want the best for their child, they will definitely submit to what you're saying.
Can I also put in one point out here? Varshita, can I tell you that, you take the sand trays and have them write in the sand trays. I think children will enjoy that a little bit. And then you transit from that to physical writing, because right now they're not used to it.
Yes, ma'am. We do the same way. We try to put them on the sand. अगर आप कुछ आपके पास clay है, तो we can do with that. We do all that. The moment you ask them to hold a pencil, and then the tears that rolls down the cheeks, we can see that. No, इतना अच्छा लगता है कि ऐसे बोलो कि हाँ ठीक है, आपको play करना है, इसके साथ करना है, उसके साथ करना है. They will. The moment you ask them to hold the pencil, then they will look at your face as if we are going to write. Because अभी क्या होता था, post प्री पेंडेमिक क्या होता था, मम्मा लोग भी लिख के छोड़ देते थे, तो उन लोग को मजा आता था. अब यहाँ पे they don't have choice, but they have to write. तो वो थोड़ा problem हो रहा है. But I think as Harsha ma'am said, gradually they will sediment themselves, because even the parents are getting into so much into emotional content with their children कि मेरा बेटा मेरी बेटी, then that attachment needs to be detached now again.
That will take its time.
Yes, that will take a hell lot of time.
Naseema, you raised your hand. You want to ask a question?
What I was also suggesting was we go in for this sand play, and you can give them clay, and they make those long pipes, and they let them make the letters from that. So with having a little of play and then shifting to writing may probably help.
Correct.
Like they can use the pencil in the sand. Let them write it with the pencil in the sand. So वो play भी हो जाएगा, and some of the writing. I mean, if Harsha is agreeing with that, because as you said, play is paramount now. We have to have play in almost everything that we do. So probably this could work, letting them have a little fun and then getting our work done.
Correct.
Anybody else has any questions? You may unmute yourself and ask.
Anyone else? Harsha, I'm asking you a question. Is your day planned the same way that it was planned earlier?
No.
Besides that half an hour, or have you made changes?
Lot of changes. And believe me, Amrita, that I have given free hands to my teachers also, that if whatever we have planned on the desk today, and if you feel in the class that this is not working and you need to shift this, because we are looking towards children's moods too much, So if they've planned a set of activity and if you suddenly find that there is a requirement or outdoor play, or there's a requirement of storytelling, or there's a requirement of the children are getting bored not doing this activity, we are completely open to that change. So our syllabus, my syllabus, as you call, the parents also have told that our syllabus for this year is going to be very, very flexible. So parents have also agreed. And at the end, Amrita, what matters is a child going home happily, coming back happily. As Varshita mentioned about that writing pressure, somewhere down the line, it's the pressure from the parent also. Because at the end, the parents open the books and, opens the book and asks, "Tune kyun nahi likha?" So ultimately, it all boils down, and the children I don't know why, but they are burnt out on writing. I don't know whether the parents force them too early to write, and that is why, or their fine muscles are not developed. I don't know where is the lab, but this writing is a universal problem.
Yes, writing is a big problem, and many times it is because parents force them to write before their hands are ready, and that's why they hurt. Do hurt. Yes.
Like abroad, they don't start writing before the age of 7. Only in India,
Yes.
we write early. So that's another concern.
And earlier,
Correct.
Bela, we got that exposure. You see our childhood of 80s and 90s, wherein we used to be totally outdoors playing in the mud and everything. There was no infection. I bhi nahi tha infection ka. And today, if you see the children, they have that hygienic play. And that is why only, they are so much infected so easily. Their
But
immune system
Harsha
is
ma'am,
totally down.
I can't find a ground for that. Nowadays, you can see only the cemented floors where
Correct.
people get hurt. We don't want our children. Even I have got a son. I don't want him to play on the cement floor. Where we used to play is like up मैदान में चले जाओ, grass पे चले जाओ. That was such a good thing. Now you
Correct.
don't find all that things. There are nothing called gardens here anymore.
Very
I
true.
think
Very true.
that's what is lacking, especially in education.
This metro cities have more of a problem.
Even metro, even I live in Ahmedabad. Even Ahmedabad, I hardly find any schools having a big grounds with the grasses, especially with the children. It's really very difficult. They have only the cemented floors.
Correct.
True. True. Yes. What else is there? Anyone wants to ask anything? Are you all facing any issues in your school that you want to ask Harsha about?
Harsha ma'am, just a quick question. In nursery, do we just them the two version, like small a and capital A?
I could not get the question completely. The voice cracked in between.
Okay, sorry. I'll get again. In nursery, especially in nursery, the recognition is much more needed rather than the writing part, right?
Correct.
In recognition, should we make them understand the capital A, or just both A and small a and big A? Which one is the better option for them?
So I think the print letter is always better, and then go for the capital ones. Don't mix both the two at the same time. Print letters are better because generally that is the reading pattern that they will follow in future. So start with the print letters. Don't mix the big A and the small a together. It will be very confusing. Start with the print letters and then go with the capital ones. That is the approach that we are following, and I think that is the correct approach.
So you mean the small A's are first for the introductions, and then gradually when they transit from nursery to junior, then we introduce capital A's, right?
Yes.
What is the difference? Because here the children, if they see the small one, I think their eye coordination with the big letters are much more better.
But at the first phase, what will happen? It will confuse them. So once the confusion is overcome, when they have one by one after the other, I think it will be very easy for them to take it. Otherwise, they'll get confused between the bigger one and the smaller one.
Okay.
But excuse me, ma'am, for the writing, we go in for the capital A first, no?
So for writing also, I would always suggest that go for the print letters first. So when you're doing, what you all must be doing, that you all take the strokes first. So that is what we also do. But when we join the strokes and make A, we don't try to teach A. It's just the strokes that join each other. So there, when I'm joining the strokes like this and I'm putting a sleeping line here, I'm not trying to teach them A. It's the shapes that are touching each other. or the patterns that are touching each other, so it's completely different topic. So when I'm talking about introducing A, B, C, D, it's the print letters that I will introduce first. Do you get
So you
me?
mean to say that writing and recognition of letters is two different things?
Yeah, two different things, yes. So when you're doing those patterns of standing line, sleeping line, or zigzag line, and if it's making a T, for example, you're using a straight line and then using a curved line, and they both join and become a D. But there I'm not teaching D. It's a shape or a pattern that the child is making. Okay, so simultaneously the child will learn capital ABC, but the idea is not to teach capital ABC. When I'm trying to make the recognition, it's always print. It's always print for the first phase and then capital in the second phase. That is the pattern that you all should follow.
But anyway, writing doesn't come in nursery at all, right? Harsha, or do you all do writing?
3+, yes, we do writing, but we strongly do patterns. We don't do ABC till the end of nursery.
Oh.
Okay, it's all the strokes. So as I mentioned, the strokes will make that A. The strokes will make that X or H or whatever. But here I'm not teaching them A, H, X. It's a pattern or design that is being formed.
Then later you say that this is the letter A?
Correct.
Okay. So we graduate from pattern to alphabets, letters.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. This is a very interesting concept. Yes. Okay. Fine.
And many schools do cursive writing also, Harsha. We should stop
We
that.
don't do. We don't do cursive writing at all.
It's so difficult for the child to maneuver his
Correct.
hands.
We have to be actually developmentally appropriate. No, we cannot
Yes.
force the child to just do it because we want our curriculum. The curriculum is saying it, so we do it.
So, Nasima, there are a lot of issues that happen with a child if they start too early. And one of them could be stammering. And another one could be, even losing control of your bladder. So I think it's very important to start at the right time.
Correct. Yes, totally agree with you. Because even somewhere I read that the internal organ development is also hampered because of this.
Absolutely.
Which is so sad that we don't take into consideration of any. I mean, we just want them to write and finish the work, sort of. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But writing approaches are different for every school.
Yes.
They are, why, Amrita? Because at some point of time, it's a marketing funda also, So let me put it black and white here, that if other school is doing writing, and if I'm not doing, I'll have a fear of losing admissions.
It's so popular in the South.
Correct.
Especially.
So here, if I let go those admissions and survive with those little admissions that I have with the right development cause, I think I'll have a longer run space. And why I'm talking right again and again about parents for collaboration is, Amrita, because when you're looking for the change or you want to ride in the opposite direction of the wind, you'll have to you will have the need to be someone with you that is the parent community. And those handful of parents who are in support will be 100 mouths tomorrow. So here, when you are looking for baby steps or wanting to make that big change, let go those admissions. I have always, we don't take children below age in nursery. We don't take even one day, either we don't take. Let the admissions go. But those who stand with us understand why we've done this. So any change that you want to put in, have that parent community in support of you.
True. I think it's very important to be principled at this time.
You have some questions?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you one thing, Harsha. Like we have opened and the weather conditions are really bad here. Like temperature is touching 41 and 42. Any day we can get the orders from the government to close the schools. So again, we should go back to our online system, or no? We should not go to the online system, because in so many ways online was also convenient. because the course was not incomplete. Children, there was one-to-one, like mother and the child, and even the teacher on the screen, one child and one teacher. So, but the weaning has happened after all. I mean, after so many days, 30, 40 days we have done with offline. So the weaning has happened. Now nobody is choosing online if we are creating any of the events. So if the school is, closed because of the weather condition, should we move for the online classes
Yes,
again, or we should wait
yes,
for the?
yes. I would go for that. Why? Because, once we've put in the situation of pandemic now, it's good to have both together. So what we do here at Small Wonders is that we have a play dates every Saturday. So which is virtual. So, the children have both the experience. God forbid if we have to fall back again in that situation, that transition ka koi problem hi nahi hoga, because children physically are also fine, and now for virtual also they are ready. So if we have that option, because of whether you're closing down, but you don't want to lose on any kind of learning, if it's available and it's flexible and comfortable, please do go for online. Don't close that door completely. I haven't closed it.
Yes.
So that means your playdate is only online, Harsha. I thought they were coming to school.
No, virtual Saturdays we do in the morning, 11 to 12, we do virtual one play date for those who cannot come. Those who can come physically, Saturday is all booked like that only. We have physical also and virtual also.
Nice.
So that is, जो नहीं आ सकते वो virtual कर ले. But that virtual door I have kept open very mindfully. Because the children, the new children, jo abhi directly without having any digital experience, those who have joined in should also have that experience. Also, I want the parents to learn, because जिन्होंने Zoom नहीं किया है, the new parents of 2-year-old जिन्होंने अभी कभी तक Zoom नहीं किया, I want them to go through that process, because God forbid if I
think Harsha is having network issue.
She's frozen.
that situation, I have a door open to go back with that reason.
I think, Harsha, there's some network issue. We're not able to hear your answer correctly.
Give me a time.
Yeah, now we can hear you, Harsha. Maybe you can just repeat what you said.
Now, can you hear me, Bella?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay. So as I said that I've kept the door open. Why? Because the new parents who've come to me didn't have that experience of digital, so I want them to go through that process, because I'm keeping myself ready that if God forbid, I don't fall in that situation again. I have a learned parent set who know everything, because inko padhane mein, Zoom lagane mein, it was a hell lot of work. So for that reason, we've kept that door open as well.
It's a good idea, smart move.
And it is a very good tool. The Zoom is a very good, mode. So many times it is like it becomes very convenient for the teachers also.
And Mamta, you won't believe our orientations, when we used to conduct, so much of pre-preparations used to be there, So now we just have digital orientation.
Yes,
and we find the presence to be more. So it's so convenient, you don't have to decorate the place, and that all Jamila is not there. And ultimately you are getting, and parents also at their convenience doorstep, they can just click at a button and they can attend the meeting. So many things I have switched on to Zoom or digital platform. Why? Because I want the parents to experience that as well.
Correct. I think PTMs can also happen on Zoom now.
Yeah. See what
Good
we
idea.
did. I wanted to just tell you one thing which we did, and it worked very good. Like from April, every evening we had a small PTM. So that is how your child was today in the school, and it worked. Mothers were very comfortable. Oh, he did not cry, or he cried, or she cried. I will call you. I called you. I did this with the child, and that later she became very happy. So it worked very well. Where in the evening, we 10, 15, 20 minutes PTM we had for a week or 10 days time. And then, gradually we are alternate days. And gradually we'll bring it to weekly PTM. And then
all the children come in and you have a PTM for everyone. So
if every month we had the PTM in virtual, like in COVID period. But in these days, beginning of the session, after the COVID, we had every evening we had the PTM, just giving the reports to the teachers, parents, that is how the child was there in the school. So it made them very comfortable. And we did not take them to the classroom at all. It was only the free play material and they were playing and playing. And they never wanted to go back. And it worked. For a week and 10 days time, it worked a lot.
I think it is worth that investment of having them enjoy.
It worked.
Any more questions or should we call it a day?
Or anyone has any inputs also is very nice.
Yes.
No, one thing I wanted to say was having both venues or options open maintains continuity also.
Correct.
Right.
So then we don't lose out on anything, and especially the child, because the child likes some sort of routine, some sort of continuity. So if you have both on options, it gives us a lot of leeway and a lot of freedom to do our work also.
True, true.
And Bela, you know, the best part is that the new recruits who've come in, you know, post-pandemic, they also get a chance to have this digital practice.
Experience.
So
Right.
I think it's a well preparation. Once we know that anything of this sort, not this, maybe something else would hit or something kuch bhi ho sakta hai. So if we have both the rods in our hand, let's, you know, sail our boat easily.
True, true.
Now we are getting prepared for anything. Huh? We never
Correct.
imagined something like this could happen. So now we are saying anything else could also happen.
True. Absolutely true.
And we are pretty geared up to face whatever we comes our way.
True.
Yes.
Very true.
We've accepted the challenge
Makes it-
beautifully.
Yes, it makes it all the more exciting. Yes.
One more thing which I experienced during pandemic, like we used to have 200 children in our nursery, 200 plus, 250 so many times. And in COVID, it restricted to 45. And we continued working. I did not remove any of the teachers. I did not do any cost cutting and I gave payments to all the teachers. You know, I felt that you don't need the number of the children. You know, it is the work. I mean, the number game is not good.
Correct.
In 45 also we survived and we survived good. So
True.
what is the need of having 200 children? You know, the work that at the end of the day, the work matters. That is what my learning during the pandemic. See, number game, you know, it disturbs you and it gives you anxiety. Good work if you are doing, and if you are not into the numbers, you know, things are very good. That is what I have felt. That is my learning, you know.
True.
Anybody else wants to share anything?
No, I think we can call it a day.
Yes, let's call it a day. So thank you, Harsha, for all your, I should say, enlightenment to all of us. We learned so much about what activities we can do, what we cannot do, and how should we gradually get the kids coming to school and, you know, doing different activities with them, especially to build their social development, which is very, very important. I think you really got that point very correctly. So thank you for everything, Harsha, and thank you for being here today with us on our
Thank
ABC show. And for those who want to follow us, please join our Thought Leaders group. It's on Facebook and also our YouTube channel. We'd love to have you there. And thank you once again to everyone who was here present today. And bye from all of us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Harsha.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming on the ABCD show.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.